There are 5 games on Saturday. They start early. They finish early. But we're ahead of it all. We're early to preview those games. Who do we stream in on Saturday to give us the leg up to win our matchup, Michael Bolton?
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and if you want to know where you can get some tang, you're looking in the right spot. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We're available on all platforms, and we're also the #1 sports podcast network. Thank you. Thank you for getting us there, and we are on the way to 100K subs here. So Operation 100K, sub if you haven't. Yesterday, normally we do a recap of Thursday's games, and I did one. It was great. It was a banger. I just didn't turn the microphone on. So it was just me talking with no noise coming out. And given that I already had to restart and stop and start the show 4 or 5 times because of the crackle on the microphone, I couldn't do it. And I ran out of time in the day, so that is why there was no show yesterday. So, yeah, that sucked. Now, today is a weekend. I don't do as many shows, so we are going to be, fingers crossed, setting up the new computer, making sure there are no issues, and reinstalling and downloading and workflowing and getting all of your settings correct. So that's going to be my day after this show comes out, hopefully, to get that sorted. But that was yesterday. Sorry about the recap. Do you want a quick overview of it? Jalen Johnson, what on earth? Onyeka Okongwu, are you serious? What's going on? Grayson Allen injury doesn't look too bad. Aaron Nesmith looks really bad, and I don't think there's anyone you need to grab in that Pacers situation. I think that's probably the main takeaways there. Probably. Yeah, I'm sure there's way more. It was a banger as well. There was jokes everywhere. It was one of the funniest and most informative shows you've ever seen. Unfortunately, no one will ever hear it. Let's talk about the games for what day is it? It's Saturday's games. There are 5 of them on. We're looking ahead. What does the schedule actually look like for these games? It'd be good for us to know. Let's take a look. Like I said, it's a weird schedule. I don't really understand why it's set up the way it goes. We've got the first game of the day. It starts at, what time is it? 5 p.m. Eastern, which is a 4 p.m. Central tip-off. Why? Maybe someone has an answer. I don't know what it is. Grizzlies, Cavs. Then we've got Raptors, Pacers. By the way, Raptors only favored by 7 in that one. They'll win by 50. Thunder, Hornets, Nuggets, Wolves, and Lakers, Bucks. With that last game, Lakers, Bucks, and the Nuggets, Wolves, that's a 8 p.m. Eastern tip? I don't get it. I know there's no Pacific Conference, Pacific Coast, Pacific Time Zone home games, but I don't know, man. It's just a weird schedule. It's a very early start, and it's an early finish. And that is where we're at with those games. Let's take a look at the individual games and who could be in and who could be out. Grizzlies, Cavs, there's a lot to look at here. I have labelled, personally me, Dr. Josh, Darius Garland and Jalen Tyson as doubtful. I don't know that. That information at this point, as I just go and double check, is not out yet. So I don't know whether that's going to be, whether they're going to play or not. But I'm putting Garland, who re-injured his toe, was not management, re-injured his toe in that game the other day. I don't think he plays, and we haven't just heard anything about Tyson in practice, his concussion, so I don't think he'll be there. Zach Edey could be back for Memphis. Actually, let's stay on Cleveland. Lonzo Ball missed the last game. That was pure rest. He's fine. He'll be back. Memphis. Ja Morant also missed the last game. Second half back-to-back. I'm pretty sure he'll be okay. The big one is going to be Zach Edey. Now, again, I will continue to say this. If Zach Edey sits on your waiver wire, please go and add him. This is a guy that probably not immediately, but I think has a shot from, let's just say from, what's the date today? The 15th, right? For me, it's the 15th. Side note, someone said, man, why are these guys talking about it's Friday morning? They don't even know what day it is. It's actually Thursday. Like, bro, I live in a different country. That's why. Shout out to him and shout out to everyone correcting him saying, come on, man. Anyway, it's the 15th for me here at the moment. I would say by like the 25th of November, let's just say Thanksgiving. I think Zach Edey could be a top 60 fantasy guy. And again, I don't even think he's that good of a real life player. But I think the impact he's going to have on our teams, I think you have to grab him. You cannot leave Zach Edey on the waiver wire. It might be a little rough at first. You have to grab him. Have to. It'll be iffy. There'll be minutes limits. There'll be back-to-backs being sat. You have to grab him. Anyway, he could be back. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope left the last game early with an elbow issue. I think he probably leans more on the doubtful side of questionable here. And if he is out, do they finally start Cedric Howard, who is he's dropping a little bit in his production. Not bad, but he's dropping a little bit. But maybe he starts. Or Vince Williams, who started at point guard last game, maybe he slides across and plays at the 2, who's also starting to play well. The second game of the day. We've got, this is again at a regular tip-off time, 7 p.m. It is Toronto. It is Indiana. That's not what that says, though, is it? That's not the right game. That's actually the Thunder and the Hornets. So let's talk about that one instead. The Thunder and the Hornets. Jalen Williams, I expect to be out. The Thunder, Lou Dort, he has been out for like over a week now with this trapezius issue. Obviously, that just helps a lot of these other guys. Aaron Wiggins has missed like 4 or 5 in a row. So I don't know whether he's going to play, and that just keeps bumping guys up. It keeps giving us more of AJ Mitchell. It keeps giving us more of Isaiah Joe. And given the Thunder are playing the Hornets, they could win this one by 80, and you get big minutes of these guys playing garbage time anyway. Their rotation is very difficult to figure out. Now, the Hornets are on a back-to-back. On Friday, the big Colk, Ryan Kalkbrenner, to all you Colk heads out there, he is out on Friday. They are back home for Saturday's game. I'm going to put him as questionable, but I probably think he's a chance of playing Kalkbrenner on Saturday. Now, you'll scroll down, you'll see Liam McNeely questionable. He's getting 10 minutes tonight, whatever, that's okay. But you'll go to LaMelo Ball and you go, what does this mean, Josh? Probable/doubtful, how do you do that? Well, at the moment, LaMelo Ball is listed probable for Friday's game. So he's returning Friday. But I'll tell you right now, LaMelo Ball, if he plays Friday, he's not playing Saturday. He's not coming back from time off from this ankle injury, just straight into a back-to-back. But if something happens on that probable tag for Friday, and he doesn't play on Friday, then I'm pretty sure he'll play on Saturday. So he's most likely doubtful. So most likely he's not playing on Saturday. But if something happens and Ball does not play on Friday, then he will play on Saturday. That's how I'm viewing that. And that is what that confusing probable/doubtful tag means for LaMelo Ball. Now we can talk about the Raptors and the Pacers game. Yeah, like I said, the spread on this one doesn't make any sense. Cam Jones is probably still out. I think he's going to be out for a while with that back problem, as are a lot of their players. We haven't got the update yet on Aaron Nesmith. There was a comment from Richard Carlisle after the game just saying that, yeah, we're going to be without him for a while. And yeah, Rick, I know, because it's not knee soreness. It's at very worst, a marginal lateral ligament sprain. Grade 1 at worst. Looks like an ACL to me, and I hope that's not what it is. The reaction, the movement, the MOI look bad. So I would think that a while will mean see you in October 26th for Aaron Nesmith, and I hope that's not true. But I don't know. But we are working under the assumption, well, he is definitely not playing Saturday. I'll tell you that much. He's definitely not playing on Saturday. There is no way that Aaron Nesmith will be here. And Ben Mathurin is still out, and all these other guys are still sidelined. Cody Martin, I've got his question. Now, Cody Martin missed the last game due to illness. His 10-day is expired now. Well, that's actually, you know what? That's not true. His 10-day expires like at the end of the 14th of November, which is when you're listening to this. So that means then he'll have to be re-signed to his new 10-day on the 15th, which is the day of this game, obviously. Now, I believe that because Nesmith is going to be out, that they will be able to give him that extra 10-day on the hardship, because it's hardships about guys being out, 4 or 5 players being out, I think, or 4 players being out for at least 2 weeks. Furphy and Mathurin and these guys, but you add Nesmith into that mix now, it enables an extension of Martin. So unless something happens and they don't renew his 10-day, and he's still not sick, Martin should play. But there's 2 ways that he may not play. For those of you who care, because I'll be honest with you, if Nesmith is out, we're looking like who's can start. It might be just Cody Martin. Like, he just might be the starter in place of Nesmith. That could happen. For the Raptors, Abaji and Colin Murray-Boyle also missed the last couple. They're questionable. it doesn't really make an impact for much at all from their rotation. The next game, one of the later ones, it is the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Terrence Shannon is out. He's going to be out for at least a week here. He's already been out for like a week. Glad they gave us an update now. And then we don't have the updates yet on Christian Brown and Cam Johnson. They told us it will come on Friday afternoon. It is currently Friday afternoon, and we don't have that information. We just got a Thunder update, by the way. Lou Dort is questionable, and Aaron Wiggins is out. Okay, so Dort is on the way back. We don't have the Brown or Johnson updates. Tim Hardaway will start almost assuredly. If either one of these guys is out, I would expect that Tim Hardaway starts. And then you've got Bruce Brown getting a bump. Then you've got Peyton Watson getting a bump. And then you've got maybe Spencer Jones for those in deeper leagues. But I would think that, given Johnson's struggles anyway, that with some sort of randomly designated arm strain, that he won't play. And Brown with the ankle, I'd say he probably misses as well. The final game of the day, it is the Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks. LeBron is out. Gabe Vincent is out. Now, Giannis, the probable tag for Giannis is for Friday. That is, again, where we get into the situation of like, okay, so Giannis is probable for Friday. I probably should have listed him the same way that I listed LaMelo. But given that Giannis just missed a game the other day and he's coming back on a back-to-back here, I would be very surprised to see Yanni play both of these games. So I think that Antetokounmpo is probably, if he's going to be probable for Friday, he's likely not going to play on Saturday. So that would there. And then Adu Thero has been upgraded for the Lakers as well to probable. Don't know whether he plays or not. He's an interesting player. Don't know if he's going to be out there or not. We're going to come back and we're going to talk schedule hacks. We're going to talk streams of the day as well. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by the big fellas over at Drip Drop. When you are hydrated, when I'm hydrated, everything works better. Your focus, your energy, your mood, your ligament extension abilities, your skin. You can do, dehydration skin test where you see how it falls back. Look at that. My skin's just popping back. That's because of Drip Drop. Drip Drop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half of the sugar of leading brands using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. Drip Drop should be just part of your daily routine like it is with me. You have a bit of a drip drop in the morning, fires you up, gets everything flowing, gets that skin becoming taut, which is what you want. It's the great sign, the tautness of your skin. But you want your eyes to feel good. You want your vision. You want your mental acuity. How many big words or complicated words? Are they complicated? They're not really. They're just words that people don't usually use. Can I throw into an ad read? Anyway, hydration is a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable for me. It should be a non-negotiable for you. And right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNBA. That is dripdrop.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNBA for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat, the exhaustion, the stress, the ennui hits, and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. Today's episode is also brought to you by Waiver. The holiday season is right around the corner. It's knocking at the door. Santa's popping on the old red sack. No, he doesn't wear a sack, does he? He holds a sack. He's got a red suit. The turkeys are getting stuffed. And that means it's time for you to get your home ready. Holiday ready. You need more seating for guests? Cushions? Who knows how your holiday parties turn out? Body bags? I don't think Wayfair has those, but they've got outdoor decor, cups, servingware, silverware, napkins, plates. That is servingware, I guess. Is it? Here's what we would... silverware, cutlery, plates, crockery. That's what we call them because, we are a higher level of distinction over here. But with Wayfair, whatever your level of distinction, decor, budget, they have all those things for you for the holiday. And the Wayfair Black Friday deals are happening all month long with up to 70% off everything from sofas through to spatulas. Don't miss out on early Black Friday deals. Head to wayfair.com to shop Wayfair's Black Friday sales up to 70% off. That is wayfair.com. The sale ends on December 7th. We're back, and we are talking about the look ahead for Saturday with 5 games on in the NBA. So let's go and have a look now at ways that we can go and approach and attack the schedule. How can we manipulate it over the next few days to get some extra games in? And we're in an interesting spot in the schedule here because we look at back-to-backs here, and there are 4 teams that come into Saturday on a back-to-back. We've got to be careful. We already talked about the Hornets, where LaMelo's probably not going to play on Saturday. The Lakers, there is a risk of Luka and Austin Reeves not playing. I don't know that, but there is a risk, given their soft tissue, leg, groin issues recently. There's the Bucks coming in on a back-to-back where Giannis missed the last game, should play Friday, and maybe sit Saturday. And then there's the Timberwolves, who I don't think we're worried about Anthony Edwards here and his hamstring on the back-to-back, but they should be okay. By the way, I know that there was an early part of the season we talked about, is Rudy Gobert on watch? I want you to just for a second, just go and check some of Rudy Gobert's defensive numbers this season. It's some of the most absurd stuff you'll ever see. I think I saw that teams are shooting 40% at the rim when he's on the court. I think that their defensive rating is or his defensive on-off is like 30 or something. It's something ridiculous. The way that he is able to still be this unbelievable defender, even though his offense is really bad, it's insane how good he is. Anyway, the Wolves back to back. But we don't worry too much about that. What we can look at now though is chunks, because starting on Saturday, going through to next Wednesday, we're all stream. It is full stream. It's undo. Fire the nozzle. We're streaming the crap out of it because every day here is available to do. So what we want to do is there situations, what players can we look at who are available, who we might be able to get 3 games in 5 nights out of with one ad. And all these players, and obviously their related teammates on those teams, fit that bill. And there's quite a few teams that play 3 games in 5 nights. Yesterday, when I did this show, I talked about the weirdness of the fact that Jeremiah Fears, Brandon Williams, and Derek Queen all sat at 18% rostered. Oh, that's weird. Why 18? Are you telling us that 18 is the percentage of leagues that are active? And I want also just on a... you've got time. Get a drink, get a coffee. We got a couple of seconds here. I have a coffee just as a break here, just to palate cleanse. Beautiful. We've got some time. The fact that Yahoo's roster percentage numbers are garbage is a problem. It's a problem for me, but that doesn't matter. No, that's a problem that I care about, and you shouldn't. I'll find the solution, and I sort of have. It's a problem for you, because you would normally go and look at the waiver wire and see someone sitting with a certain percentage and then think something about it. But those numbers don't add up anymore, because there are players who would have been drafted into inactive leagues, and they're just sitting on those rosters, and the high percentage numbers, the numbers are all out of whack, right? The problem that I also don't want this to create or cause for people is that because it's easy to come out and say, hey, bro, I think there are 60% of leagues that are dead or inactive on Yahoo. And I know that some people will have the reaction, yeah, fantasy basketball's dying. No one plays. Everyone gives up. That's not what is happening. I believe that the amount of active leagues is the same. The percentage of active leagues is lower because we've been flooded with all those fake leagues. Those, hey, I didn't know that I signed up for a league. You know that. I'm sure that happened to you. I didn't join a league. I can't get out of it. Right? So the fact that kept happening to people, kept getting added onto people's ledger, means there's just more inactives. It doesn't mean there are fewer active leagues. It just means there are more inactive leagues. So that percentage now changes. And with Yahoo's push to try and make points leagues look more popular for God knows what reason. Hey, this is more popular, guys. This league is more popular. No. We're going to tell you that this one's more popular, but we actually like this one more. No, this one's more popular. And we're going to make it seem like it's more popular by making people play it who don't want to play it. But we actually like this one. No, this is more popular. Okay, but it's not. No, but it is. So, again, the general story here is that so many fake leagues have been created and people forced into them and people give up on them, that the percentage skews, but it doesn't mean the level of participation is different. Just go and have a look at when you see on the most added, most dropped players, it gives you the raw number of players added drop. You're still getting the same numbers that we got in the past because the teams that are active are still active. It's just that the overall pool of that is very different because of just the flood of fake leagues. I think that's how I'm viewing it at the moment. Whew. All right, so all these players are available. And so that's a huge side note. The Brandon Williams, Derek Queen, Jeremiah Fears, who are at 18%, I checked back in on them today. Guess what? They're all up to 19%. All right. Why do they... That's weird. Brandon Williams needs to be rostered in every active league. Derek Queen, I'm surprised, is not rostered in every active league. Fears, I get it. Touch and go. But Williams and Queen not being there. Now, I really want to see if Williams has a big game on Friday, what that number goes to. And I think you can all track that as well. It gives you an idea. But they're up to 19. Anyway, You rostered Williams. You rostered the Blizzard, Derek Queen. Yes! And you can roster Jeremiah Fierce. It's a great name as well. You can roster those guys, especially the short term, but Queen and Williams, just do it until something changes. And I do think that something may change negatively for Queen later on. Colin Sexton is available. Sexton, he might play 31 minutes, he might play 24 minutes, but if LaMelo Ball is going to be out, and I think he will, then at least for Saturday, then there's value in him, but the value's there. And look, I don't want to tell you Ben Sheppard, but I did want to hit someone under 10% rostered to give you a double onyx there. And as bad as he is, he's going to at least, I would say, play more minutes with Nesmith almost certainly not there. The next part of the schedule we look at are the 5s and 2s. We still don't have any teams playing 5 games over the next 7 days. None at all. But we have 3 teams with 2 games. So it's a bad time to be a Piston. It's a bad time to add a Denise Jenkins. It's a bad time to see what Paul Reed can give you. It's a bad time to hold on to rugged Ronnie Holland. It's a bad time to worry about Jake LaRavia for the Lakers, or even Marcus Smart perhaps. And then with the Knicks, we talked about, I don't know whether Juice McBride is going to be a great fit replacing Jalen Brunson, whether he's going to be a must roster. Well, if you wanted a little kick to say maybe we don't need to do it, they play 2 games in the next 7 nights. And then by that time, Brunson might actually be returning. So maybe you don't need to do that. That's where we're at with that. We are, of course, going to come back and talk streams of the day and other streaming targets in a sec. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by DoorDash. The NBA season is heating up, and DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long. You might be watching your favorite fantasy plays. You might be watching Jalen Johnson put up a line that literally nobody ever has before. Didn't get the 50, but you might be watching that. You might be watching your favorite team. Whatever it is, DoorDash makes every game night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the Bag Drop. Every time an NBA player drops 50 points in a game, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. Player-inspired drip and exclusive gear and the stuff that you'd actually want. DoorDash has you covered for late-night highlights, last-minute watch parties, and double OT fuel-ups. So the next time that someone goes off for 50, use the promo code NBA50. The next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass, plus your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only 50% off up to $10 the day after a 50-point game with the promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends on April the 13th. Open to US residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there is no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You might be watching an NBA game, and then there's another game that's only go, damn, I wanted to get something down. I want to get some action because I know ball. I'm a ball knower. I want to get a bet on, but the game has started, and you go, never fear, because FanDuel does live betting. You can jump in at any point, and you can see who's got the hot hand. You go, well, are they going to score next? Are they going to hit this marker? What's their PRA looking like? You could look at the fact that this game that involves the Oklahoma City Thunder might turn into a blowout. Pretty good odds of that. You could bet on that in-game. Or you might think that some team rallies and has a comeback. You can bet on that in-game. You can combine these actual live in-game bets as well into a same-game parlay to increase your shot at a bigger payout. It puts your knowledge, your basketball acumen to the test. Right now, FanDuel is giving also new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So go to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA, and don't forget to gamble responsibly. Okay, let's get into the streaming options, the stream of the day, and it's a weird one with so few games on and a few statuses that we don't really know about. But I will give this idea, is that I do think that at this point, in the schedule, in the proceedings, that Bobby Portis is probably the stream of the day. He has moved under the threshold that I use for 10-team leagues, which is using Basketball Monster's roster percentage numbers. And if you are a member of Basketball Monster, we talked about the Yahoo percentage issues. If you're a member of our site, just use the advanced numbers. It'll give you an idea of which players are actually rostered in 12-team leagues. And Bobby sits at 47% for around 12-team leagues, which to me means that in a lot of 10s, he's going to be available as well. But Giannis is probably not going to be there. So Kuzma will start, but what it means, even though Portis' minutes may not rise, he should do more. He's on, I don't believe that we need to be rostering Bob Portis as a long-term thing, don't get me wrong. But the last 4 games, he's shooting 66% from the field, so the efficiency is up. He's also up in those 4 games to 23 minutes a game. He's blocked 1 shot all season. That's a problem. That's a problem. But maybe if you want to believe in the laws of Poisson distribution, that maybe he's due. The law of due, so to speak. Sorry, I had better say that with an American accent. Otherwise, it sounds like I'm saying a different word. The laws of due. Yeah? The law of due. Due. He's had 1 block all season, so maybe some are coming. It's an opportunity for more usage. Maybe 1 or 2 extra minutes. I've got him projected for 26 fantasy points on this day as well. So it's all predicated on Yanni not playing, but I don't think Yanni's playing. Portis also is my Yahoo points stream of the day and my ESPN points stream of the day. My 12-team stream of the day is, again, it's dependent on some early injury calls that we're making. It's Lonzo Ball. 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 8 points, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, possible. Yeah, it's pretty useful with 5 games on a 12-game day because I don't think Garland plays and I don't think Tyson plays. For a 14-teamer, it's always risky, man. It's the dice roll of all dice rolls. You try Gary Trent. Does he give you 1 point? Distinctly real. Like, that can happen. Does he give you 24 points with 8 triples and 8 steals or something? Yeah. Yeah. Is he bad? Yes. Also yes. But there is also the pop-off ability. And then, like the Lonzo Ball stream, the 16-team Deep League stream, Craig Porter. Because Craig Porter, last game now, Craig Porter played 24 minutes last game. He put up a really Derek White line. Remember, Lonzo did not play in that game. So there's not 24 minutes available necessarily for Porter in the next one. There might be, but not necessarily. But if it does work out the way that I think where Tyson and Garland don't play, then Porter's going to play. And for deeper leagues, he can rack them up. 8, 4, and 3. 2 steals possible for him? Yeah. And then, like I said, points leagues, Yahoo and ESPN, Punch Bowl is the guy there. Let's dig into some more streaming options. We'll start with the 10-teamers. Bob Portis is there. Lonzo Ball is there. Slam and Sammy Merrill. Again, you know it. When I'm talking Cavs, I'm expecting Garland and Tyson not to play. Gary Trent, I'm expecting Giannis not to play. Craig Porter, I'm expecting Garland and Tyson not to play. That is a lot of how we're doing streaming on this day in particular. It's like, who has got the little 1-game or 2-game bumps? You don't care about those guys from a long-term perspective, but you do care about them in the interim, in the short term, in the single-game maneuvers. What about 12-teamers? Well, look at the first list. Most of those guys will be available, but if not, let's go to Indiana, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. I think he'll start again. Will he be good? I don't know, probably not. But he's a strong rebounder. You might get a low-end double-double. And again, we've lost another player with Aaron Nesmith, and likely no one set to return. Alex Caruso. He just, I think he had 5 steals in 18 minutes last game. He's pretty good. Ben Sheppard. It's really hard. It's hard for me after saying, oh no, Ben Sheppard, he's getting started minutes. You never know. Maybe he does. No, he doesn't do anything good. But I'm going back to the well and telling you again, maybe Ben Sheppard. He won't be good. But the minutes are there. Maybe we get double-digit scoring. I don't know. Vince Williams has a couple of paths to value. Maybe Jar sits. Doubt it. KCP sits. Probably. Vince has been pretty good. And then Bruce Brown, again, a couple of paths to opportunity. Christian Brown might sit. Cam Johnson might sit. They both might sit. They both might play, but they both might sit. And Brown gets his 24 or 25 anyway. So he's an option for us. And then for deeper streamers, you could easily move one of these guys up much higher, and that is Tre Mann, who I've got on this list, because my assumption is that LaMelo doesn't play. But LaMelo might play. But he probably doesn't. So Tre Mann can move higher. I've got Pig Williams in Oklahoma City. A, the game could be a blowout. B, we already know Aaron Wiggins is out. And Lou Dort might remain out too. Mike Conley's there. Like, the upside's not that high, but in deep leagues, he's available. Sion James could get to 30 minutes again if LaMelo is out. Now, that might be 6 points, 2 threes, 2 steals, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. The old multi-Richie Beno. So it's okay, though, for deeper leagues. And then Peyton Watson, who, like Tre Mann, could easily scoot up this list, especially if, like, Cam Johnson's not there or Christian Brown's not there. And then Watson plays more. He's getting 20 minutes off the bench anyway, but maybe he gets 27 and blocks 3 shots and has 10 points. There might be something in it. Lastly, we go to the points league streamers for Yahoo points. You already know Bobby Portis is sitting up the top there. We've got Colin Sexton, Marcus Smart, Isaiah Jackson, who is bad. Like, there's no question that he is just bad. He can't block shots anymore either, by the way, Isaiah Jackson. That's just out of his game, apparently. And Tre Mann on that Yahoo points stream list. And then for ESPN points, Bobby Portis is one of the guys there, obviously. Marcus Smart, Isaiah Jackson, Sam Merrill, Lonzo Ball, and once again, Tre Mann as your stream options for the day. And now it is time for me to stream myself right out of here. And then go watch some baseball, but then try and dig into setting up a new computer, which, setting up new devices is always completely stress-free. Downloading things from the cloud, making sure all of your million settings and finely tuned scenarios are perfect so that you can hopefully deliver a good product. That has never not worked in the history of the world. So I'm sure it's going to be great. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.